Good morning, it's Aisling. Welcome to Ace of Spades Tarot. So in this series, as we continue to ring in the astrological new year, and are approaching the Aries new moon, I really could think of no better time to start this channel, given the current global turbulence we're all experiencing on both a micro and macro level. For these first 12 readings, I've decided to use the Romney spread. I went back and forth on whether or not I should shuffle on camera or if I should do it in advance. I mean, I've shuffled all the cards in advance, but I will deal them. I will shuffle a bit more and deal them on camera, as I think people like to see that. It can be time consuming, so please feel free to fast forward once I start the process. This is a reading for the collective energy of Scorpio, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, Jupiter, Mars, North Node, really wherever Scorpio is prominent in your own natal chart. And again, it is a general collective reading, so as always, please take whatever resonates with your situation and leave the rest, and feel free to check out other readings for other signs and placements in your chart, as those readings might resonate with you better. I invite you all to subscribe to the channel, like, share, comment. My only request is that if you comment, please be respectful both of me and of everyone else in the collective. This is a safe space. There's enough negativity in the world. There's no reason to be a jerk. Things won't always resonate, and people might not always like what the messages are. But again, they're tarot's a tool. It's not the law. So if you don't like something, it's okay. It's just not a reading for you then. But I find that usually there can be good messages that come out in terms of, things the universe wants you to know, and possible things to look out for, blockages, warnings, that sort of thing, as we all kind of trudge forward in this new world we're living in. So, as time is fluid, this reading, especially this reading as it's dealing with, really just a collective overview of the current energies, kind of past, present, future, of each sign. My hope is that when this reading finds you, it is when it is meant to find you. And let's see, if you're interested in personal readings, my information is in the About section, and probably will be in the description box once I actually figure out how to do the description box. Okay, bear with me. New at this. Not at tarot, just in this format. So I'm gonna start off by ringing my Nana's little bell of joy. Oh, little sparkly sound magic here, nice and gentle. And I'll start shuffling. When I was meditating on the energy Scorpio, I did sense that intuition has been very heightened lately among the Scorpio collective. Your dreams might be incredibly vivid. Kind of picked up on that. So I really feel strong third eye activation, crown chakra activation, A lot of energy in that area. I think that this is going to be a really, I just have the sense that this is going to be a really determined time for you and a really positive time for you. You know, and as a collective, I think we're all coming out of a kind of strange period, you know, and as we head into eclipse season, things are bound to always get a little strange then too. So I think that you will have a pretty good grasp on things. Past energy for Scorpio, please. Past energy for Scorpio. Scorpios are seeing things with a lot of clarity. And you know, Scorpio, your sign is, you know, you are, death is your major arcana. You know, your plutonic energy. It's all about, you know, it's all about, you know, life and death and transmutation, phoenix rising from the ashes. So it's powerful. You know, I feel like those are kind of the times we're in, and so I think you have a kind of a bit of a head start in respect to the fact that you are a little bit more prepared for the times that we've been in and that we're probably headed into in the next, you know, year and a half or so, 2 years. Which is, you know, when I see things kind of settling down a bit energetically. But right now, I think, you know, we're all kind of accelerating at a very quick speed on even a cellular level. Everything that's happening astrologically, which is a reading for another time. Okay. Sync up the deck. And I see why. That is funny. Because actually, Libra had this in the same exact position in the last reading. Very different spread, but same bottom of the deck. Okay, so in our past energy here, it seems like, you know, as I look through, there was a time where you had choices that you could make, you know, and realized there was a specific moment in time when you realized that the world expanded beyond, you know, what you had known, and you had the ability to achieve that, you know, as you see the man standing with his hand firmly on one wand and holding the world in his other palm, and you know, looking out at the world beyond. Next to that, so we have the two, we have in the minor arcana, but into the three, the Empress, you know, Empress energy, who's, you know, incredibly, you know, she's divine feminine energy. She's all four queens in one. She's fertile, she's abundant, she's creative. She's, you know, could be a mother, but could also just be birthing of creative ideas, endeavors, and sits, you know, sits in full glory in her abundance. And in doing so, though, I feel, however, as I'm seeing here, that in order to get to this position, because it's kind of a jump in a way, that there were losses suffered. You know, clearly the Five of Cups is a you know, it's Scorpio energy. It's Mars in Scorpio. And Mars is part of our drive, right? It's part of our life force. You know, our Mars energy, it's related very much to the solar plexus chakra and how we, you know, how we work, what motivates us, where our passions lie. And, you know, the Five of Cups, you see this man cloaked in black, and he's not paying attention at all to the abundance in, you know, in front of him, where there's the green grass and the flowing river and the bridge to the castle. He's staring only at these, you know, 3 cups that have spilt over, and not paying attention at all to the 2 cups that still stand behind him. This card, to me, is always a reminder to be, you know, to be grateful for what we have, and to see things from a different perspective, and to remember to turn around and remember, you know, when we feel like all is lost, to remember what we do have and be grateful for it. Because, you know, Spirit is always there, and Spirit has your back. You know, you don't become the Empress overnight. Obviously, there were steps that had to be taken, and part of those steps involve understanding loss, which Scorpio does, you know, better than most signs. They understand death, they understand transmutation, they understand picking themselves up from their bootstraps. And because of that, I think, you know, we have the Ace of Cups next, which is, you know, a divine gift. It's like, okay, you lost these 3 cups, you still have these 2 cups, so here, the universe is saying, here's your, you know, another cup, and you have the white dove that flows down into this overpouring cup. The downward, you know, motion of the dove symbolizing as above, so below, which is the same thing with the lily pads and the lotus flowers that are sprouting from the water. You know, they don't grow from a clear stream. They grow up from the muds again. So as below, so above. It's that kind of circle. It's that karmic, what goes around comes around, right? And so the universe understands mourning a loss and is offering you this cup, and perhaps it comes in the way, because your back is turned here, so perhaps it comes in a way of a Knight of Cups offer, you know, in the past. Perhaps there was someone in your life that came when you were at your lowest and said, here, drink from my cup, you know. It's a solid offer. It's a solid emotional investment. What's amazing is that, you know, this Knight of Cups is, it's almost like divinely guided, because you have the Ace of Cups on one side and you have the Ace of Swords on the other. So the sword of truth, right? You know, divine truth and wisdom being handed to you. So as I was saying, I think Scorpios are seeing things with a lot of clarity, and have seen things with a lot of clarity for a while now. And so, you know, you're able to turn situations around, right? And turn lemons into lemonade, so to speak. And, you know, we end the past energy with these Eight of Wands. You know, we're always trying to get to the 10 in tarot, right? With the major arcana, from the Fool to the World, we have to go through all the stages. Same with all of, you know, wands and swords and cups and pentacles. We're always trying to get to the 10, you know, from the ace to the 10. So, you know, you start off with these 2 wands, you end with these 8 wands. That ends up being a 10 of wands, which is, you know, burdensome energy, which we'll get to later. But it can be a lot to take on, right? When you have the intuition that you have, and you have the understanding of certain things, that like a deeper kind of innate knowing, as we get into this present, like this High Priestess does, you know, she's intuition incarnate. You know, she sits there kind of as the go-between between the worlds, right? She's the Persephone figure. She wears the crown of Hathor. She, you know, she wears the cross. She holds the Torah. You know, she sits between the 2 pillars of Boaz and Joachim, the 2 pillars of the old Temple of Jerusalem before it fell. She has the crescent moon, and, you know, with water lapping at her feet. The backdrop of pomegranates, you know, which is very much Persephone. She is the space in between, you know, this world and the next. And she is our inner knowledge. So I feel like whatever communication is coming into you quickly, whatever you know, with this Ace of Swords and this communication, it's leading to very strong inner knowledge, you know. And then so we see the 9 of Pentacles, and you've been at Empress energy, right? And now perhaps you're at, you know, typically we don't go backwards, but you know in the present you might be in your garden of abundance, you know, where she is abundant in creativity and fertility and birthing of divine feminine energy. And you know, the 9 of Pentacles is kind of my pre-Empress card in a lot of ways. You know, their dress is similar. They sit in similar, you know, gardens. You know, and she's, you know, she has enough for herself, financially. You know, she's certainly abundant in the material world. You know, and she has her bird of prey. I mean, she wears a glove, which says to me, you know, it's a hawk or a falcon. It's not, you know, it's not a little caged bird that sings. It's, you know, it's a messenger bird. So messages are coming into you from all over, you know. So birds can be messengers of past loved ones, of our ancestors, or our spirit guides. It can also be a guard of gossip, but that's not what I'm getting here. And then we have a Page of Pentacles, right? So you're at the 9 of Pentacles, and someone shows up, the Page of Pentacles. And pages are messengers as well. So it could be that, you know, 9 plus this Page of Pentacles, that's a 10 of Pentacles. But, you know, you sit in your abundance, and this person only, you know, seems, you know, has this one pentacle, and he's, you know, dressed poorly, and he's just a page. But pages can be deceiving. So never ignore, you know, something that can grow into something beautiful based on, you know, don't judge a book by its cover, is the message I'm getting. Because that page might be just what you need to reach that 10 of Pentacles. We move into Temperance, Major Arcana for Sagittarius. So you might have that in your chart. Again, this is someone who is, you know, she's alchemizing. She's got 1 foot in water, 1 foot on land, lush flowers behind her, the sun rising, wings of an angel, third eye fully open, you know, fire in her heart chakra fully open, enlightened, you know. So it's a beautiful energy to be in the center of your reading. You found, you know, it's pure alchemical balance. Right next to the Magician, which is the creator of alchemy, right? The Magician has all the tools. He holds the wand to the heavens and points to the earth, as above, so below, again, like, you know, as this dove. The infinity symbol above his head, knowing that he has all the power within him, all the tools within him to manifest and create what he wants. You know, surrounded by roses and white lilies of purity, and just a beautiful energy. And then we have this 3 of Swords. So it seems almost like the 3 of Swords comes out of nowhere, and it's followed by death. How I'm seeing this is there's been a change somewhere in your current situation, and I'm not seeing this so much as heartbreak, actually, interestingly enough. I'm seeing it more as, because it's between the Magician and death, which is, you know, your card, where, you know, and Temperance here, and, you know, the High Priestess starting the present and death ending the present. It's like, it's almost like a death to an old way of thinking, you know? And sometimes we struggle to let go of things, you know, especially things that affect our heart. But again, swords are in our mind, and it's, you know, it's air energies, so they're thoughts, and thoughts can affect, you know, of course, affect our mind, our soul, our body, our hearts. But I feel like this is it's a necessary death of releasing whatever swords, whatever mental swords were clouding you in the past. Because you found this balance and you found this inner power, and the sun, you know, no one can hide from death. Death, you know, but it's not about necessarily physical death. It's about the death of the past and the transmutation, the rebirth and the transmutation into something new. You know, the sun always rises. Death always comes. The sun will still rise. And directly after death, we go right into the 10 of Swords, right? So somewhere between this 3 of Swords and this 10 of Swords is a 7 of Swords, which makes me say that there was someone possibly in your life that perhaps, like a thief in the night, you know, kind of played dirty and led to this ending. Because I don't feel like this is your ending of an old way of thinking, perhaps, but and it leads to this. But from this, again, there's only rebirth and transmutation, as you know, as a Scorpio. So it's a lesson learned, right? Going into the future. And then we have the Three of Cups. Now the Three of Cups is a celebratory card, right? I'm not sensing a third party situation here, just like I'm not sensing a literal heartbreak here. I'm sensing deceptive behavior that led to death of an old way of thinking. And then a celebration of kind of a new way of being, right? And it's also, as we re-enter society, as restrictions, you know, depending on where you are in the world, you know, restrictions may be lessening in your socializing and in seeing friends. And for a lot of us, it's a burden. And as I was saying, you know, this two of Wands here and this Eight of Wands here, 2 plus 8 is 10 of Wands. Eventually, all of this can lead to a burden of having to maintain, right? Of sometimes it's hard to be the one that has the knowledge and has the intuition and has the understanding and has the truth and knows the truth and can't always express it, right? And so you end up carrying this burden until you can't see, and you're just, you know, this is its own ending, because you can't carry this forever. You have to put down the burden. And when you put down that burden, then enters the Sun, right? Sun, the happiest card in the deck. Leo energy. And romance and joy and glee and childlike, I mean, nothing's happier than the Sun, right? But it's also a card of shining light. So it's like where this person can't see, the Sun comes in to shine the light. Where this person can't see, the Sun comes in to shine the light. The Sun always rises in the Death card, right? Sun rises in the Temperance card. So it's like what you've known will be brought to light. Just takes time for other people to catch up to you. And with this glorious light, we have the Lovers. Now, you know, the Lovers is also, you know, it's also a card of decision. It used to be called the Choice. So that means choices have, you know, might arise in the future that you have to make decisions on. And you don't want, you know, I always say we want to forgive. We always want to forgive, not for necessarily someone else, but for ourselves, because we don't want to hold on to that, you know, that it's like, you know, drinking poison and hoping the other person dies. We want to forgive, but we don't forget. And so it might take pause, say, hey, you know, I got one pulled over on me in the past, led to, you know, not so pleasant an experience. I'm going to be careful in making this decision. So, you know, afterwards we have this Queen, this King of Wands, you know, it's Cancer and Leo energy. So we have, you know, 2 cards Leo energy here, and 2 cards Cancer energy here, because we have following at the Chariot. So the Chariot is kind of the pre-Emperor card in the sense that he's making his decision. He's riding off. He's taking charge. He's making a choice. He's trusting his gut. He knows which way he's going, right? And at the bottom of the deck, we have the Queen of Wands, which means we have a pair on the board. And the King of Wands is looking to the Queen of Wands, and the Queen of Wands is looking to the King of Wands. So I feel like in the future, you will make the right decision. You will have learned from, you know, the past. Other people will have woken up by then. And you will be moving towards, whether it be a work relation, you know, a work partnership, a soulmate connection. I mean, the Lovers implies a soulmate connection. But only after, you know, we go through this death and rebirth process and putting down, you know, these burdens and letting the sun illuminate situations. When we read down this way, here is your sense of self and what matters to you. Being able to make your own decisions and choose your path, right? The world is your oyster. Your intuition matters to you. Trusting your intuition, knowing that you can trust your intuition, which is why I think this came as a, kind of a shock, because you've done all of this. This wasn't supposed to, I think you feel like you got duped somewhere, that everything seemed to check out, right? But it's okay, because it leads somewhere good, and again, ending things to begin new things. Scorpio understands that, and Scorpio isn't afraid of death. Scorpio isn't afraid of the Ten of Swords, because Scorpio knows that it's the sign of the phoenix, that one of its symbols is the phoenix, that it will always rise from the ashes, that it will always prevail. And in your home environment here, it's, your surroundings, it shows. It's like the Empress, the Nine of Pentacles, the Three of Cups. It's a happy, comfortable, luxurious home environment, right? Where it's full of abundance. It's full of friends, of good times, of memories, of celebrations, of creativity, of birthing things, of financial abundance, of ancestral messages, of spirit guide messages, of divine feminine energy. In your hopes and in your fears, I think this speaks more towards your fears. You don't want to feel this feeling of loss and this mourning, right? You don't want to misread a book by its cover and miss an opportunity. And you don't want to be left with the burden of the Ten of Wands. I think those are your fears. So only you have the ability to change that. Get to know people before you judge them. Use your intuition, but also do your due diligence. Don't let anything mourn for so long that you forget to be grateful for what you do have. And don't carry any burdens so long that you can no longer see your path, because that's not you, Scorpio. In the known factors, Ace of Cups, Temperance, the Sun, all beautiful energy. I mean, look at that. You have the Three of Cups here. You have this with the 2 cups in Temperance is the 3 cups there. It's, it's overflowing emotional abundance, right? And also complete balance in alchemy here. And then this beautiful sun and illumination and joy. In the hidden factors, this Knight of Cups, the Magician and the Lovers. Now, this Knight of Cups could come to you, and again, like the Page, it's maybe not, could have come to you in the past, and he's not a knight, he's just a knight, he's not a king, but it's a solid offer. He's offering his cup of emotion, but he's not a king and he's not an emperor. And I forget if I mentioned or not. There's no gender is not specific in tarot, so masculine or feminine, it doesn't matter. But sometimes we can think someone we're already in this Empress Nine of Pentacles energy. It's like Knight of Cups, but again, like the Page of Pentacles, we always want to make sure that we're not discounting people, because we have the magic within us, right? You have the magic within you to create. This knight could really be this King of Wands. You know? He, you know, as King of Wands is Cancer and Leo energy, and you know, Knight of Cups is wow, I just drew a complete blank. But it's water energy, you know, and so you can have fire and water energy, and sometimes something can come disguised as something else, is what I'm trying to say. Because you do have this Lovers, and and you know, you're manifesting this. But perhaps that person has already arrived in your life, and what you think you're manifesting, again, you might have blown off as just a page or just a night. Sorry, coffee. So when you're in you know, the short-term future, Ace of Swords, understanding the truth, Three of Swords, you know, like I said, I really feel like it's removing, changing the mindset, changing your mindset from a past mindset to a new mindset, and which can be painful to let go of certain things. And the King of Wands then makes his appearance, right? And it's interesting because, you know, again, Leo and Leo energy, it's, you know, the lizard or salamander, you know, the lizard kind of basks in the sun, looks right into the sun, kind of. The king doesn't have to, you know, if he stared directly into the sun, he would go blind. But the lizard does it for him, kind of like the Queen of Wands has her black cat as her intuition here, right? Because, you know, wands are it's physical energy, it's sensual energy. When we move into long-term future, I think then you have then this rapid communication, right? And the death of the old, bringing forth forward movement, quick forward movement in making decisions and being confident in the decisions you make based on lessons from the past. You know, and again, it kind of the pre-emperor card, you know, and it's I think this is a power couple in the making, is really what I feel. That's how I feel, whether it be romantic soulmates or whether it be work partnerships. But there's something in your future that's, and it might be someone that's already in your life, so I want to take a closer look once, you know, once we've gone through this kind of mindset change and its death process, and, you know, and then putting down of the burdens and the light shining. So I'm going to grab 3 cards now, just to, you know, this is Kim Krantz's Wild Unknown Animal Spirit Oracle deck. I'm just going to grab 3 energies, past, present, future, please, for the Scorpio collective. See how they match up with the spread. Now, of course, I'd love to take the time to clarify, but it's a long spread, and so, you know, in future I'll do shorter spreads. I just wanted to kind of get a general overview. Ooh. Wow, that was an accident. This wanted to come out. Oh, fire ant. So fire ant. So that's, you know, working. It's a lot of, that's a lot of fire energy there. It's also, oof. It's also, I think, you working to kind of build, right? And work together to build entire compounds. And like a Scorpio, fire ants sting, if they're threatened. A Scorpio will lie in wait, but that Scorpio sting is unlike any other. And then we have the Firefly. That's what I think Virgo actually had this in the same position, the Firefly in the present, which is, finding your own light, which is what you're doing here, right? In the Temperance, within the Magician, and using your intuition. It's the Firefly is luminescent. It lights up on its own. It doesn't need another person's light. And then we have the horse energy, which is interesting because we end with the Chariot card, and obviously the Chariot is two sphinxes, but if it was an actual chariot, it would be driven by horses. But then the horse has this crescent moon on its third eye. It's it's earth energy, but it's also incredibly intuitive, and it's freedom, and it's wild, and it gallops, and it leads, and it charges, and it horse energy is powerful energy. And I feel like that's what we have here. Once the burdens are down, we have this sun, and we have these lovers, and this King of Wands, and this Queen of Wands, and this Chariot. And that's you moving forward. You taking this Firefly that lights up on its own and lights, it's luminescent all on its own, lighting the dark, and harnessing that power within yourself, and using that same power to become a powerful force. Beautiful. Really beautiful. Now if you'd like to think of a question, I'm going to pull a Moonology Oracle card. And the answer is not that one. Just, simple question if you have something. Maybe this can help. As we're approaching the new moon in Aries. First new moon of the astrological new year. Sorry there. Oh no. I have to listen to my guides. Bottom of the deck, they said. Okay. The answers you need are coming. Full moon in Gemini. So we have a while to go before that full moon in Gemini. So this process that we were talking about, this might take a while. Death, rebirth, and transmutation always does, right? It doesn't happen overnight. Letting go of old mindsets doesn't happen overnight. Putting down burdens and being able to release those doesn't happen overnight. And I'm sorry that's not a more clear answer. And this is what came out before that I was told to put back. Emotions are running high, supermoon. So you might find that your emotions are running high, and that's not an answer to your question. But the universe clearly says all will be illuminated, right? I always say everything in the dark always comes to light, which is why we should strive to always be honest, because secrets have a way of always coming to light, and things that are hidden tend to eventually always be revealed. And finally, I'm going to end with a crystal or two from the Daily Crystal Inspiration deck by Heather Aknosi. You might want to get, if you don't have a little journal, you might want to get one. Lepidolite, recall your dreams. Remember, the first thing I was saying about the meditation is that I felt like your dream state has been very vivid lately. So, and I was just saying you might want to get a journal. You might want to get a journal not only because I'm going to read from her guidebook, and she asks some questions that I think are always interesting to answer, you know, and it's good to kind of ask yourself these questions. You know, they're simple little questions, but they can go a long way. Sometimes things you don't think about. But also, recall your dreams. You might want to start a dream journal if you haven't already, and make it kind of a daily practice to write down your dreams first thing, because a lot of answers are in our dreams. I find that I work through a lot of my problems in my dreams. You know. Other crystals. So you should be able to find these stones. You know, you can find them online if you can't find them in a store. You know, in a store near you, in a metaphysical shop, or you know, crystal shop, or a chrysoprase. Allow yourself to receive. And they're saying one more. Okay, sorry, there's going to be a couple of things for you to write down. It's a good exercise, though. You know, and you can write down the questions and answer them when you want. You don't have to do it this second. Or you can, you know, pause the recording and come back to it. Third one. Chrysocolla. Start fresh. Which is exactly what we were saying, right? The rebirth, transformation. So, lepidolite. Recall your dreams. Discover a new dimension of yourself by tapping into the power of the invisible dream world. There is so much information accessible to you within the symbols and storylines of your dreams. They offer a deeper method of understanding and self-reflection, a way to expand beyond the physical realm and learn from your subconscious mind. Start by asking yourself a question before you go to bed and see if you can work out the answer in your dreams. When you awake, write down all the details you can recall. Making this a regular practice will allow you to access the subconscious information about yourself. And perfect for Scorpios. Core questions. What was my last vivid dream? What happened after a dream that felt like it had a message? What messages can I uncover from my dream state? So, what was my last vivid dream? What happened after a dream that felt like it had a message? What messages can I uncover from my dream state? And the affirmation, I am enlightened by messages from my dream self. The next time you wake up, recall your dreams in a journal as soon as you can. Exactly what we just said, right? So, lepidolite. Let's see it. So, Price of praise. Allow yourself to receive. It can sometimes be easier to give than to receive, but receiving help from others is a necessary component of a healthy lifestyle, opening up to receiving as much as you give. Remember, you cannot pour from an empty cup. There has to be a balance between give and take in all of your relationships, whether it's with friends, family, or coworkers. If you notice yourself feeling guilty or uneasy when others give to you, shift your attitude so you can embrace what they have to offer you. The core questions are: where do you give more than you receive? What feelings cause you to do so? And what shifts can you make to create more balance in your relationships? Where do you give more than you receive? What feelings cause you to do so? What shifts can you make to create more balance in your relationships? The affirmation is, I allow myself to receive. Today, say thank you without hesitation or deflection to all compliments that come your way. Simple things, but make a lot of difference. And Chrysacola. Start fresh. It's time to start fresh. Close the door behind you so you can move forward and open a new one. Every day is a blank canvas, an opportunity to go boldly after the things in life you want and leave behind anything you don't. You do not need to settle for the status quo or accept what already is. You have the power to change your life and do things differently every day. It's time to live by an out with the old, in with the new and beautiful mentality. Core questions. What areas of your life are calling for a fresh start? What can you say goodbye to? And what can you welcome into your life? So, what areas of your life are calling for a fresh start? What can you say goodbye to? And what can you welcome into your life? The affirmation is, I welcome the opportunities each new day brings. I welcome the opportunities each new day brings. Today, tidy or redecorate a space. Welcome new life by adding fresh flowers or potted plants. Beautiful. And that concludes our reading. Again, please, if you found that you liked the reading or parts of it resonated with you, please subscribe, like, share, leave comments. And I want to thank you so much for joining in with me in this beautiful energy, in this beautiful windy morning. I appreciate your time, and if you've lasted this long, I certainly appreciate your time. And I hope you found it. I hope you found the reading somewhat helpful. So, ciao for now, and namaste.